Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Welcome to Hey, Julie, a podcast, Danielle, about a television show called Big Brother that premieres this week.
Can we say officially it premieres this week? Can we build the
I,
hype train?
yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on sort of org structure wise with CBS, Paramount, National Amusements Incorporated with going on with them, but I believe we are getting a premiere, a two-night premiere this week.
Wednesday and Thursday. I'm so excited. Finally, there have been no leaks. There's no rumor mill, no spoilers, nothing. We usually at this point we have a little something to discuss, a little drama, preseason drama. Nothing so far.
It is Saturday morning. There was quite a lot of hubbub last week that there was going to be a cast announcement and that the cast had been cast and that they were doing some of their pre-show photo shoots and interviews and stuff. But everyone was expecting a cast announcement at some point last week, including us.
Yeah.
And then
we were ready.
And I texted you on Wednesday. I'm like, this is not happening this week. We're going to get it on Monday. I think on Monday, we're going to get a cast announcement. And then Tuesday is going to be the calm before the storm. I do believe they are moving in on Tuesday.
Okay.
I believe the structure of events, I might be wrong, is that we are not getting a live move-in. We are actually not getting feeds until night 3, which is interesting because we've had like kind of night 1 feeds for the last few years. And as we've learned, quite a lot happens. Like not everything happens, but quite a lot happens in the first few nights, at least to kind of set up, oh, this is why this person doesn't like this person. This was this night 1
drama
alliance
that everything spins out from.
That has no impact on anything except for why everyone hates this one person.
Exactly.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, and that's when we were in the bodybuilders. And you're like, what the fuck is the bodybuilders?
There's always like night 1 stuff that we usually miss out on. But
so my understanding is that move-in is happening and the game starts on Tuesday evening, and night 1 they must be doing some sort of staggered move-in because night 1 is just going to be the first 8 house guests moving in, and we are not going to see the second 8. So it's just going to be those first 8 and what happens with them. I don't know how long they're going to be in the house before the second 8 comes in, and then night 2 is going to be the second 8 moving in and moving into the game, and then at the end of night 2, which is Thursday night, the live feeds will begin.
Finally, I have to make sure my VPN is working.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We've been given nothing but crumbs, is what I'd say. Like, oh great, the theme is AI. We've seen some rooms, some of the house design. I'm not even watching. Like, Julie's starting to do interviews. I'm not watching her little pre-interviews. I don't care what Julie thinks.
What does she have to say?
Yeah, come on.
Unless she's the show.
Yeah, exactly. Like, unless she's talking to Danielle Donato, making another disparaging remark to her, I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? Julie sucks, as we know on this show. But I think we have a lot of questions and stuff heading into night 1 premiere of Big Brother. We'll get a cast in a little bit. First question from Curious Keebler. Any archetypes you don't want to see this year?
I think this is such a good question. And as I was thinking about it, my thing is any archetype could be good, like could actually end up being a really interesting person. Because I was thinking through, I was like, oh, maybe like the young 20-something bro. But we've gotten like good characters or good players out of that archetype. So I don't want to, it's hard for me to paint with such a wide brush. I'm not like, and I couldn't say, even though a lot of them end up being duds, I couldn't say like the old man because we want an old man.
Oh, we want old man.
Yeah. So it's tricky. I'm not like, I couldn't really think of a good answer to this. That's why it's a really good question. Because I have so much hope at the beginning of the season and so much optimism that I'm only thinking of like the good possibilities. I'm not thinking of like how they all inevitably disappoint me.
I saw a photo on Reddit yesterday, Big Brother Reddit, and it was a woman and she had photoshopped herself out of it or covered herself up. And she was like, hey, I just met these 3 contestants from Big Brother 24. Bumped into them, IRL. And let me tell you, first of all, I want you to just let me know if you even remember any of these people.
Are you going to pull up the picture?
Well, I'm not going to pull up the picture.
Oh.
No, I guess I could stream it, but it was, let me just say,
okay,
it was Terrence, Kyle, and Daniel. Do you remember those faces or names?
I actually do, because that was such a good season. I actually do remember all 3 of them.
What did we call Kyle? We called Kyle something else. That's
Andrew.
all I remember.
Andrew.
Andrew.
Kyle. Kyle was a big Dani was right. Big time.
And
Terrence, I remember, and Daniel. Yeah, Daniel was the Elvis impersonator.
Yeah, who was like iconically 35 years old.
He was no Bowie Jane, 35 years old.
Oh
but,
my gosh!
I had to ask my husband yesterday. I was like, "How old am I turning?" I forgot how old I was, so I really don't blame Bowie Jane for, messing up.
She knew how old she was because she was quite. It's one thing if you're like, "Oh, I actually don't know if I'm 35 or 36 anymore."
I didn't know. I was like, can I just tell you?
8-year-olds. Sorry. Yes, go.
I was like, so how old am I turning? And my husband added a year. He was like, oh, you're going to be 37. Idiot. How dare you?
8-year-olds it's very important to 8-year-olds how old they are.
Yeah, it's important to 2-year-olds.
They're like, actually, I'm 8 3/4.
Yes.
Let's not get it twisted here. I'm 8 3/4. I once went to a liquor retail establishment and they asked me how old I was, and I was like, it was a few years ago. I was like, I don't know, like 31. And they're like, okay, now we need to card you because you gave such a
weird answer.
Weird response.
Yeah.
I'm like very much in my 30s. I just don't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, our birthday is coming up.
Just a reminder.
What are we doing? What are we doing for that?
That's a question for everyone to answer in the Discord. What are we doing to celebrate 2 Leos who are, you weren't born in the year of the dragon. I was. And this year is the year of the dragon. So, big deal for me.
I think I was like the year of the rat. I was like a pretty.
Yeah, you're the rat.
Pretty bum.
Aren't you maybe you're the bunny rabbit, actually?
Yeah, it might have been a rabbit. It was definitely in the rodent family.
You're a rabbit. You're like a sneaky little imp.
Thank you. Another question on Big Brother from Matt Steele. If you were to ask AI to create the perfect BB house guest, what qualities do you think would generate on its own based on previous contestants? And then how would you edit these qualities from there to turn them into your idea of a perfect
Wow.
Oh my God, Matt. Okay.
Wow. I have to look at this. I have to see
this because
visually.
We're doing this podcast because we don't like doing work. So just keep that in mind next question.
That's good though. That's a really good question.
I don't know. It would just make a bunch to answer the other question, which I did not avoid. What archetypes do I not want to see? I don't want to see like a conservative white man. I just like who's just like, I do things the right way. I do things the honorable way, and then like proceeds to terrorize a single woman for 16 weeks.
Right.
Or like abandon his family. CC Cameron. If just like Google Cameron if you're like. See what he's been up to, what his exes have been saying about him ever since he got off BB reindeer games. Seems like a great guy, America's favorite. There he is. I don't want to see those people. Like those people bother me IRL. Those people bother me IFL.
I can't. Fake life. I can't even think about like what the like not subjective perfect Big Brother player is. My perfect Big Brother player, I've already described. It's like it's either they're old, they have to be almost elderly, any gender, whatever, and they have to have they should be from like the deep South, New Orleans, Boston, New York. They should have a very strong accent. They should not, but I mean, cornbread was really
R.I.P.
supposed to be my perfect AI.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out. It was actually pretty boring. And they should have, like a great personality, and they should never know what's going on, but in like a fun way. Yeah.
I think the AI would try and create like a gamester, like a sort of like
Right. A
Giesling,
fan nerd.
Vanessa hybrid sort
Yeah.
of thing. And it would be like, it also would not give you a solid answer. It'd be like, well, many different types of players have one big brother, including
Right.
this elephant, including Rosa Parks. And you're like, that's not right. That's not right, AI.
Yeah.
Seems like you're just a machine that makes up fake answers for a living.
Yeah. Yeah. I really don't like AI. Can I just go on the record?
No, I don't like it either. I don't like it either. It's quite bad. I think by like mid 25, the AI hype cycle will have finally cooled off. Perhaps to the chagrin of my retirement account, but like everyone is now we're getting to the point. It took longer than it did with like NFTs, because there was like this whole NFT thing, which I think was also just fueled by the pandemic and everyone being bored. And they're like, yeah, I shouldn't spend $35,000 on a picture of Michael Jordan. Like that anyone can have. It's digital though. And everyone quickly was like hyped about it. And then they were like, this is actually stupid.
Yeah.
And this one, there was like actual, you could see a little bit what the real life like execution or like deployment would be, and you're like, okay, this actually could be a thing. And then like a year or two of like you Googling something and Google being like, here's the wrong answer.
Yeah.
I think everyone's like, actually, this kind of sucks.
Yeah. It's just kind of like not exciting to me at all. I just don't, maybe I'm so close-minded. I don't really see creatively the possibilities. I don't. Like, it's not that last year. What's so funny is last year at this exact time before Big Brother premiered is when this one AI app, Remini, I think, or something, became really popular. And it was the one that like you could put your picture into it and it would make you like the perfect LinkedIn or cover photo, the perfect resume.
Oh yeah, the one where you're a doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I loved that because I was like, yeah, I love an app that makes me look like 45% hotter than I am and turns me into a doctor. Like, yes. But that was the peak. That was the peak of AI. And that was last year. It has not gotten better since that. So
it can make some pictures look better. It can, if you need to like crop out someone at the park in the background of your picture, it can do that very well.
Yeah.
But like, it's not gonna like do anything that a human can do better.
I'm such a humanist. I'm so pro humans.
No, you are. You really are.
So, yes. What other questions?
I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking.
Dementor Deeds on Twitter said, Julie said we'll see 8 of the house guests move in on Wednesday's episode and the other 8 move in on Thursday's episode. Do you like this premiere structure or would you have preferred something different? You know what? I will say this is something different, right? We've never seen this happen before where we get 8 for 8 one episode and 8 the other episode. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, even though I think it's going to leave me wanting more. It's going to leave me a little
Don't
bereft.
they want that? Don't they want
I guess they want that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are we ever happy? What is it like to be happy?
I know what it's like to be happy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always happy. I think that the producer in me is like, well, they're going to have like duds the first 8 because they're going to want to save the good 8 for the second, because they know people are going to tune in for the first episode no matter what. How do you get people to still tune in for the second episode? You have to save the real crackpots.
No, you're wrong. You want to get them hooked with the first episode. You need to put the best people first.
I think you watch and you just keep waiting for the real unhinged psychopaths. That's what you need. Okay. It's like how reality TV has a sizzle reel for mid-season because like you've watched the first part of the season and nothing really happens. But then right when you're about to tune out, they're like, oh, but look at all this crazy stuff that happens after we take a short break. You better come back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they do that in episode where they're constantly teasing the end of the episode before every act break. Yeah, that's why I don't watch reality TV that much. But I think it's weird. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. This is what they've never done before. Danny's right.
Mm.
We should I don't know if you remembered last episode, but there was a major Brett was right moment, and we
I
completely
don't
missed
remember
it.
it.
It was relating to cabaret. I don't think we should rehash it, but I do want to just state for everyone that Danielle had to beg via text and say Brett was right about something.
I didn't. I had to prove myself. I was the one who said Brett was right, and you didn't want to give me time to say it on the episode. I was the one who uncovered this, and I'm such an honest and like justice-seeking person that I told you were right. Anyway, we don't need to get into it.
Thank you. I was right about cabaret, and many people reached out, responded, replied, added us, hopped in on our Discord to say that Brett's opinions on cabaret are correct. Next BB question from Pizky. This is a good one. Should the Costco guys go on BB26? Danielle doesn't know who the Costco.
I don't know who they are.
Which is a literal crime. The Costco guys are a father and son duo on TikTok and perhaps other vertical video apps, social media apps, and they go to Costco and they rate things. They give them a boom or a doom. They're Costco guys. They eat double chunk chocolate chip cookies. It's basically this incredibly cringy father and son duo who.
Oh, the like Jersey boys.
They're kind of Jersey-ish, yeah. But like, clearly the son, like, okay, this is my read on it. No, nothing. The son's a loser. The son's a dweeb.
No.
I'll make fun of a child on this podcast. The son's a loser. And the son's like, I needed to do something. Like, I want to be a TikTok star. Like, I think here's my idea. Like, we're gonna go to Costco and we're gonna order everything from the Costco of cafeteria menu and give it a boom or give it a doom. Dad, will you help me do this? And the dad, he's trying to be in his son. The dad is doing the right thing. He's playing along, but the videos are so weird and forced that I think they've gone viral for their incredible cringy nature. Okay. And people make fun of them a lot at the same time, like, but they're still getting the views. So it's like kind of
like, what does it matter?
It's like it's flywheeled and it's snowballed for them in a positive way, even though I think a lot of people watch it because they don't like it. Okay. So like, I don't think they're getting a 9-picture deal like the Hawk Tuah girl, but like,
I know who. Now that's a household name.
That's a household name. To answer the question from Pizky though, should the Costco guys be on BB26? Child? No, absolutely not. I don't want to see a weird child on big BB26. Actually, that gave me a great idea. Little brother.
Surprisingly, I haven't tried that yet. Okay. I guess they did Kid Nation.
These kids are.
Yeah.
I think that legally is a thing.
Yeah.
I think the father of the Costco guys would be a great Big Brother contestant.
Yeah, I'm remembering. Yes.
Yeah. Like it's like Summer of Steve vibes.
Yeah, 100%. I think it threw me that they're being called the Costco guys when it's like, yeah, one's just like a little baby, a little kid, a little tyke.
Well, they say that they're Costco.
Family.
They say that in the video, like, the type of video where it's like, we're pediatric nurses. Of course, we have blood all over ourselves or whatever. That's a sad thing to say about pediatric nurses. Yeah. But like, so they do that with Costco. We're Costco guys. Of course, we get 14 pounds of cod. Right. We're Costco guys. Of course, we buy our tires in bulk. Yeah.
I think I agree with Brett. # Brett's right. I would have the adults of the family on Big Brother, not the child. I think we should protect children. That's just my opinion, though. Were there any other Big Brother questions?
I think that was it. Okay. That was it.
I can't believe you know what? This is just like indicative of how hot we all are for this season. We got so many great Big Brother questions, and we haven't had a leak of information yet. Can you imagine when the cast part 1 finally drops? Brett and I haven't even talked about how we're going to record, how we're going to react, like in a succinct, timely fashion to these 2 episodes.
I guess we have to do that.
And tomorrow,
I guess we have to do
Monday.
I guess we have to do a cast reaction. They're going to announce the cast. I think I would imagine they're going to announce the cast on Monday.
Yeah, they better.
Now I have to do a podcast with you. Okay. I actually have plans on Wednesday night. I'm not watching the premiere.
I have plans Thursday night. I have plans Thursday. I'm trying to have a social life.
I imagine, yeah, no, me too. Well, I imagine we'll do the premieres episodes
as
on
one
Saturday, we usually tape on Saturday mornings. So, like most podcasts, they put them out during the week. People listen to podcasts during the week. Hey, Julie, tape on Saturday mornings.
We're
you do our live stream on Saturday mornings when everyone's like going
living
to
their lives,
living their lives, taking their children to sporting events.
Yeah.
We welcome you. We welcome you. So yeah, like this is what we do. We have jobs. So sorry.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for the Big Brother portion. We still have a
lot. Yeah.
We have so much to discuss. And I guess this is going to be like our last little pop culture check-in episode for a while.
Possibly not.
So we have to really... Oh, go ahead.
Twisters comes out next week.
Oh, yes. Well, we really have to make it this episode.
You're not hot on Twisters?
I'm so hot on Twisters. Have you seen Glenn Powell's dog? Yeah, I'm hot on Twisters.
His dog or his dog?
His dog.
Okay.
He has a tiny, adorable dog that he brings with him everywhere, and he poses shirtless with it.
That's troubling that he has a small dog.
No, it's so cute. He puts a little cowboy hat on it. It's so cute. It's so cute. He knows what he's doing. He's playing.
Oh my god,
Dani
this
playbook.
dog is too small. Oh no, it's okay. Oh, it's bigger now. Some of them are a puppy. Yeah, I mean, I love dogs, but I find small dogs to be a bit annoying, and I want a medium to large size dog.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what are you doing, Glenn Powell? Have a big dog. You're big.
No, he saves this little buddy.
Okay. Your dog is bigger than Glenn Powell's dog. That's not right. That's not right.
Lenny. Okay, so let's jump into pop culture stuff because we do have so much to discuss.
We have a lot of things to discuss. Brett's going to be upset today, but
what should we start with? I think we should start with. We got a ton of questions about Longlegs, so I think we should start with Longlegs.
Danielle, did you see Longlegs?
No, I didn't.
Brett saw Longlegs, surprisingly.
I know. It's the type of movie I would see because I love horror, and Brett is a scaredy cat, so I'm shocked that he went and saw it.
We have two. Jump for joy. Have you seen Longlegs? I'm too scared to actually watch it, but I'm still here for the discourse. That's in the Discord. As well as Valleys in my mind. San Fernando Valley is in my mind. More importantly, will either of you see Longlegs? Not Danielle. She'll see it.
I'll see it eventually.
I saw Longlegs, a motion picture, last night. First of all, this all started because I thought Twisters came out this weekend. And I texted my friends 2 days ago. I said, are we seeing Twisters tomorrow? And they said, no, because it doesn't come out for another week and a half. But you want to see Longlegs? And I was like, I don't know. I don't see scary movies. Sure. I saw the trailer for Longlegs about 2 weeks ago, which was terrifying. But also the trailer led me to believe that this is more of like a thriller, more like Silence of the Lambsy than it is like just like people jumping out and stabbing you.
Yeah.
So I saw Longlegs last night. Honestly, like it was fine. I had a good time watching it. It is not. I think the consensus after a lot of people see it, it will be where I'm at, which is like pretty good, but like not the thing that was like totally being hyped. Scary, not that scary. Again, more of a thriller. Yeah. It's like very Silence of the Lambsy, almost to a fault. It definitely has more of like a supernatural occult element than Silence of the Lambs, which is like purely like a movie about two serial killers and the FBI agent kind of like between them. Nicolas Cage, very good, very scary.
What about Micah Monroe?
I've never seen her in anything
really
before.
She's great. Love her.
Well, what's she been in?
She's in It Follows. She's in Independence Day, the
Resurgence?
sequel. Yes.
Resurrection.
Yes, Resurrection. She's so
I think
good.
she was. I think she was. I think she was really good. And I've never seen her in anything before. I thought she was really good as sort of the Clarice, but a fucking weirdo.
Mhm.
And like I don't want to spoil this movie for people. It literally just came out yesterday. I was kind like I liked. I had fun watching it. The more I think about it, I'm like, wait, what? But I still like enjoyed myself. I've been grooving to some of the music that was in the movie
Oh,
this
got some
morning.
needle drops?
It has some needle drops. So
Okay.
basically, it only has 2 needle drops. It has an opening credit needle drop and it has a closing credit needle drop, both by the same band. And so I've been listening to that band this morning, and it's cool. I think what happened was like this movie came out at the beginning of the year in festivals or end of last year in festivals. And every single person who saw it was like, this is the scariest movie that has been made in 35 years. And Nicolas Cage is terrifying in it. And everyone is going to shit their pants and puke blood when they see this movie. And it's just not that.
Okay.
Like, I think I'll be interested to know what you think as someone who's much more of a horror connoisseur and aficionado.
Mhm.
I think you might end up like me. You might be like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but so
Kind of scary, but like,
many of these horror movies, like that's what they have to do. Like the marketing has to be about how
yeah,
this is the scariest movie ever, because that's how you get horror fans excited. Like
yeah,
every horror movie has that. Like that I can think of in the past couple of years. Smile, Late Night with the Devil, Longlegs, like they all do that.
yeah.
But
Well, they
I
all
love
can't
Mika.
be.
Hmm?
So yeah, no, she's really good in the movie, like particularly in the first half as well. There are definitely some like, it's not like the funniest movie in the world, but like her being this like weird, isolated, like Clarice Starling, like FBI weirdo is like kind of played for laughs at a few points, and it's like it's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
She's got a good performance, and I don't know if like that's what she's like in every movie or if that's just what she's like in this movie. So I'll check out some of those maybe.
She's just got a nice, I like her vibe. I don't know. She's got like a thoughtful vibe. She's also in The Guest, I think, with Dan Stevens. And
I saw
I
The
love that
Guest.
movie.
That movie is good. I don't remember anyone else in that movie other than
He's
Dan
so
Stevens.
good. Yeah, he kind
I
of
did.
steals the scene.
Speaking of Dan Stevens, I did see the trailer for Cuckoo, the
Oh,
horror
yes.
movie with
Oh, I
Dan
want to see that.
Stevens
Yeah.
and Hunter Schafer.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good too. It looks, and that's the same thing. It's like I'm watching the trailer. It looks good. It definitely looks scarier than Longlegs. And like it's also but all the pull quotes in the trailer are like, "This is the scariest thing you'll ever see in your life. You'll die.
Yes.
Your esophagus is gonna close up because of how scared you are." It's like, oh.
Well, that is, oh my gosh, that reminds me of one of my favorite tweets of all time. $35 for a haunted house? I better die.
Yeah, you better die. Yeah, I would never go to a haunted house.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see it, but I do plan on seeing it. And probably not, it's not a in theater experience for me. It's probably gonna be a renta, but I am excited for it.
And also, I just need to say to everyone who was in the same theater as me last night, who I know are listening to the pod. Can you sit still? Can you sit still for 2 hours? It was an hour 40. It was an hour 40-minute movie. And every single person in the theater had to get up and go to the bathroom at least once.
Wow, Brett, you're like sliding.
I had to go up to a person and be like, turn off your phone. Just actively texting, going on Google Maps, just doing whatever he wanted on his phone in one of the like, if you want to do that,
Checking
get a
stuff
ticket
out.
in the last row. You know what? They should reserve the last row. Are you so broken in the mind that you cannot go? You have to look at your phone every 7 seconds. Sit in the last row. All you guys can sit there together. Have a great time. This guy was sitting up at the front and just like going on Google Maps, texting, Instagramming, just doing whatever. I do not care. I will go up to a stranger.
I know.
I'm probably going to die. I'm probably going to get shot in my life by the wrong person because I just don't care. But
I know all about Brett's need for silence in the film audience in the theater, but I didn't realize that people weren't allowed to fidget. I think you're going a little too far. People aren't allowed to go to the bathroom.
There was a lot. Too many people went to the bathroom. Too many people went to the bathroom. This ain't this ain't like JFK to Seoul. This ain't like an 18-hour flight.
Yeah, but everyone's getting big Diet Cokes.
Not me.
Yes.
I starve myself before every movie because I'm so paranoid about having to go to the bathroom.
Oh God, no! You gotta live. I go to the bathroom twice per movie.
Also, twice.
If I'm bored, I'm like, let me just go to the bathroom.
It's not a
Check
long
it
movie.
out.
The movie is an hour 41.
Yeah,
and that might include credits. And I went to a theater that does not show a lot of trailers. It's not AMC. AMC is like 30, 35 minutes of trailers. I went to a movie, and that movie started 15 minutes after, because it was 15 minutes of trailers, and then it was good, which is like pretty good nowadays. Anyways, whatever. Longlegs. It's cool. It's cool. Like Nick Cage, a little freak.
Yeah.
Just
listen,
like that.
He's having the time of his life out there.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Lenny.
Oh yeah. I think he got a producer credit too. So
good for him.
Good for him.
Now we're gonna talk about something we both watched that I was like, we've saved the true reaction for the podcast, but I had been texting Brett because I knew that this was going to be an explosive reaction to season 3 of The Bear. Because I watched it first. Yeah. I watched it all first. I knew what happened. I knew it and I watched every episode somehow. I watched every episode. I made it through it all. And I was just like, I just kept saying, just you wait to Brett. Just you wait. You think it's boring. You think it's like the overdone with the cousins. You think it's like meandering and lame and boring. Just you wait till the finale. The finale takes it to a new level.
You think I'm upset at movie texters, movie pissers? I hated The Bear season. I loved The Bear season 2. I thought it was incredible, right? Like I was in on that. I was in on its wavelength. The Bear season 3 with, I think there are 3 good episodes in it that I liked. Aside from that, I found it to be a complete and utter failure of filmmaking and television. Wow. And some of the most arrogantly out of touch filmmaking and like creating I've ever seen.
I don't know if I would say it's arrogant. I don't know if that's what word I would use.
I would say it's arrogant. I would say that they got really high on their own supply. They got this show when season 2 happened, and then they won a bunch of Emmys for season 1, by the way. So when the Emmys come around in 2 or 3 months in September and they win a bunch, that's for season 2 BTW. Season 3 is eligible for next year's Emmys. So there's also going to be this other like Bear circle jerk that comes around in September.
But I don't think we're going to have
to relive the Bear discourse here.
I think this is the popular side, that the correct popular side of history. I think most people were disappointed with season 3.
Oh, I think so.
Not an easy season to watch and be entertained by.
They were very highly, and I think like deservedly praised for season 2, and they took all the wrong lessons from it. Putting into the forefront, what's the show about? The show is about this little freak cook.
Yeah,
who sucks. And makes everyone's fucking life around him miserable. And
I didn't even remember
the poor woman who is tied to him as his sous chef or whatever, and his cousin who's like the man who kind of manages it, and like everyone's going through their own personal traumas, and then they go to work at a difficult place to work together. And this show's like, well, you know the funny fat cousins in the back? What if they were in every scene doing the worst, stupidest bits possible?
But it wasn't even bits. It was just one bit that they brought to every episode, and they kept like building out the lore of the bit. And I was like, I don't care about this at all. This isn't going to become a thing. Like they wanted this to be a thing where like people, bros at the bar in Boston were like, we're going to ghost you too, bro. Yeah. And I was just like, no, you can't make this happen.
Exactly. And like, I think the show's mixed use of actors was also a positive in the first season. And other shows and TV shows and movies I think, use non-actors sparingly well. Like the Curse, I can't imagine many of the people who like were like in the world of the Curse were actors, and I think that worked. This show is like, okay, so Maddie Matheson, the one of the two fat brothers, like not an actor, television chef. Interesting use of him, but he shouldn't have the most lines of any person this season. And I would imagine he probably did if you just literally broke it down. Because here's the thing, Carmi was barely in this fucking, like, who's an asshole, by the way, was barely in this fucking season.
And that was
like,
the big,
barely in this season. Like,
big issue for me.
Make the show about the characters that we want to see and we want to see grow. The finale of this episode, like could have been an email. It's like you have the meeting and it's like, this could have been an email. You could have just sent me something. This could have been a podcast. If you guys wanted to make a podcast, make a podcast. But to have the finale of your season be like 6 real life chefs sitting around a table, literally chef's table, sitting around a table and like sharing war stories and being like, oh, I remember the time that I burnt my hand real bad. It was pretty bad. Like, this is a podcast. This is a YouTube series about what it's like to be a chef with Chef whoever from the fancy restaurant. That's not a television show. Television show is about my sad characters being sad and getting out of it and getting into new situations with their sadness. And this show, this was a complete failure of that. And the other thing was, on the second to last episode, it starts with this montage of like the magic of movies, the magic of magic, the magic of sleight of hand.
Right.
And
magicians, the magic of magicians.
But it's also film as well. Like there's like this, it's literally starts with like a quote from Scorsese. Scorsese itself, and it's showing clips of Spielberg and Harry Houdini and Ricky Jay and these great crafts people of the late 20th century and early 20th century as well. And then like it's one of the characters like making a dessert like later, and it's like, oh, he's trying to put that magic into his desserts. Great. But you're now, as a television show, comparing yourself to this. You're saying like that what the chefs are doing, but also what we're doing is akin to Jurassic Park, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the most incredible sleight of hand magic trick you've seen from Ricky Jay or whatever. This is not that. This is the show about people riding the subway and being sad. And it was some of the most arrogant work I've ever seen, and so undeservedly so. It really rubbed me the wrong way.
I was like, as I was watching it, I couldn't help but like, I was doing my own bit. And I don't know why, but my bit is just like, at the end of the day, love, it's a sandwich. like at the end of the day, I don't know why it's kind of cogged me, but at the end of the day, they're making a meatball. Like, do we have to?
Oh, yeah.
Does this have to be this serious? And like the chefs, the chefs, that episode, couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe. I was like, do they think I know who these people are? I know who Christina Tosi is because I went to Momofuku, but I'm like one of like, thousands of New Yorkers who went to that original Momofuku. So what? Like, yeah, I had a great cookie there. Like, what do you think? Do you think I need to watch? Like, what is? What the hell is the show about? Also, no. Let me.
They're
just say,
chefs.
No,
they're not.
Let me just say the fact that they like made everyone's little sweetie. I mean, you call him a freak. He's everyone's little sweetie. He's sensitive. Carmi is a sensitive.
Until that's his actual wife and children.
Okay, shut up. I know. I'm team wife. I'm team wife and kids. But in the show, he's just a sensitive little sweetie who listens, who's trying to be better. And this season, I was like, why did we character assassinate him so much? Why is he just awful? 100% awful? Because he doesn't want to be with his girlfriend anymore? Also, like, I know this is kind of intentional, but I just was like, the only funny part about this season was laughing, thinking about how the fucking chef is telling his ER girlfriend, like, sorry, I'm too stressed out to date you. Like, I'm sorry. That's just crazy. I'm too stressed making the sandwich to date you.
I know. Like, I was brushing up against their relationship in the middle of season 2. I was like, why does this beautiful, like, down to earth, amazing woman like desperately in love
He
with
was
this guy for
kind.
no fucking reason?
And he's a good listener. He was a good listener. He used to be a kind, good listener. And now this season,
And
he's
and then
not.
when they like break up at the end of season 2, I'm like, oh, I get it. This guy's a fucking freak. Like, the fact that we're still like spending so much time, and you have the entire cast of characters in the show being like, hey, when are you going to text Claire back? Okay, I know you're not single anymore, but if all of my coworkers were like, hey man, you really got to get back together with this other person, that would be super weird.
Yeah.
No, it's over.
Well, they're all his family too.
I guess so, yeah. But like, that is weird too. And like, this woman is in the show is like a nice, normal person. Like, why does she want to be with him other than like the magic of the show?
I just couldn't.
I thought that one of the most interesting things of the finale, to your point about like the Carmi character, this guy's like a fucking asshole to everybody. This entire season, he's like unnecessarily an asshole to everybody. And he is troubled by the relationship he had to the Joel McHale character. But you know, before the show begins, Joel McHale is this very mean chef, and they finally have this confrontation where he's like, fuck you, that's on it, you know, you wrecked my life, you gave me ulcers, all this stuff. And Joel McHale's like, yeah, I could apologize, but also you're like a really good chef now, and this is what you wanted, and I did this to you because that's what you wanted, and now you have what you want. Sorry, but like, not sorry. And I thought, actually, the Joel McHale character is right here. And here's the thing, like, it's not like Carmi's character is treating people nicely. He is also a giant dick to everyone.
But isn't the implication, it's like, you turned me into this, I'm acting like this because this is how you molded me, like it's really all your fault, Joel McHale? If he wants to treat people differently, all he has to do is do that. So like, that's something that like just doesn't click for me, of like why he is so upset about how he was treated, and yet he treats everyone on the show like a giant piece of shit. And like, they're pressuring the Sydney character into like signing some sort of contract with the restaurant, and it's like, why are you so upset about this when this is how you treat everyone else, including the people in your family and the person that you're dating and all this stuff? Like, it just sucks. I need to say one thing about there's a complete nothing scene. There's this build up. Is this going to be what I was going to bring up? I have two things I'm going to bring up. Okay, go ahead.
I hope so. In the beginning of the season, they're like, Sydney, we need you to sign this contract. We want you to be a partner in the restaurant,
right?
Or whatever.
You can only make $65,000 a year.
This is what I wanted to talk about. In the second to last episode, the Carmi's sister's husband is a lawyer and reads the thing, and he's like, it's a pretty good deal. You get $70,000 a year salary, and after 3 months, you get health insurance. And I was like, okay. Everyone's financial situation is different. Everyone listening to the show, everyone watching the show is different. I don't want to say $70,000 is not a lot of money, because I'm sure $70,000 is a lot of money to people who are probably listening to my voice right now. But you're like the executive chef of a restaurant, and you're only making $70,000, and maybe you get health insurance in the future. I read that scene as like, man, it seems like their offer really sucks.
Yeah. So well, the other
I was competing. Yeah.
The competing restaurant was offering $80K, I think. It was they were offering her like $10K more. So it was like, oh, you could go, and the offer was crazy. I did not like what they were trying to do here, because it was like, hey, I'm a nice guy, and I'm gonna start up my own restaurant. I'm not like Carmi. I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna start up my own restaurant.
Seems like a nicer guy than Carmi.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you more money. I want you to be the chef de cuisine. I want you to make all the decisions. You're gonna have all your dreams come true. So, what do you think? And she's like, oh, I have to think about it. No, she doesn't. Why? No, she doesn't. You're going to sign on that dotted line. The fact that they made it such a big thing. This isn't actually what I was going to bring up, though. I have 2 issues, and I'm being very generous as saying I think they must have been improv scenes in The Bear season 3. One was in the finale where they forced Will Poulter to talk to a chef and have this back and forth about, like, I don't know, tempering the mushrooms or something. I don't remember the exact term.
Oh, all the Will Poulter scenes are actually quite. There was another one from later in the episode that I'm like, what are I was constantly saying, you were saying, oh, it's just sandwiches love. I was just saying, what in the fuck am I watching right now?
They did not do Will Poulter any favors. Like, Will Poulter's the
trying.
actor, and they put him with a chef, some chef. I don't know who, because I don't know who these people are. Like, I am like any other normal American, and I'm Canadian.
I know 2
like,
chefs.
Yeah, exactly.
Chef Gordon Ramsay and Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, he's talking to him about some fucking chefy term and, like, geeking out. You know, they were like, to Will Poulter, they were like, you know, just really fanboy, you know, like Chris Farley in the Beatles sketch, like really fanboy to him about his, like, chicken cacciatore or whatever. And it's just painful to watch. I was like, why is this scene going on for so long? This is not good improv. The chef is not having good responses. Poor Will Poulter. Just give him a script. He's a great actor. Just give him some lines, baby. Okay, there was that one. Then there was another one where I was like, okay, now you guys are pissing me off. And this was between Cousin and Cousin's ex-wife. Cousin has a daughter with his ex-wife who's like 12. Maybe she's 10.
Like I think she's young. Yeah, a little bit younger.
Maybe she's 10. But she is like a Taylor Swift fan. It has been established. She's old enough to want to go to a Taylor Swift concert. They show this, like, what's meant to be like a very, like, so real co-parenting scene between the cousin and Gillian Jacobs. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah, I think it is Gillian.
Okay. Sitting at the park with their 9-year-old, watching their 9-year-old, and they're like talking about, I don't know, the fact that Gillian's getting remarried to Josh Hartnett. Yeah. And they both at the same time are like, don't eat that to the kid, because the kid, like, put some garbage in her mouth. She's 9 years old. I don't have to say that to my 2-year-old anymore. You know, like, this is really bad writing. Like, this is so clearly the writing of a non-parent that I was like, it has to either, like, these 2 actors don't have kids, and they improvise this, or this is like a really badly written line. It pissed me off. And don't even get me started about the giving birth episode.
The giving birth episode was awful. Like, Jamie Lee Curtis, good for her, get your Oscar, girl. But, like, she was the worst part of this. Is going to get me into my next point. Sorry, we're talking about Bear season 3 so much. Spoilers for Bear season 3. This show hit a peak last season with the episode Fishes, which is the one that's like the giant flashback episode with Jamie Lee Curtis and John Mulaney and this Christmas episode. And there's like Bob Odenkirk. There's like a million people in this episode. And it's like this really hectic Christmas dinner, which was a really excellent episode. And it was followed by the episode where Richie, Cousin, finds his purpose in life working for, what's her face? Olivia Colman's restaurant. And it has the Taylor Swift, and it sets up and it pays off the Taylor Swift thing. And it sets up this every second counts theme.
Yeah.
And instead of creating new heights for this show, new directions for the show to go, this season wanted to do a victory lap about shit that happened earlier in the show. It wanted to do a victory lap about that episode Fishes. So it has a full, basically bottle episode with Jamie Lee Curtis and the Abby Elliott character as the latter is giving birth, and it's bad. It's bad. Jamie Lee Curtis is the worst part of that episode of the Fishes episode, because she's a little bit overacting and everyone else is like kind of on the right level for it. And then in the finale of this one, the giant pat on the back that they give to themselves for the every second counts thing from the Forks episode, where that restaurant is closing and like everyone is like in the kitchen and they're like tearfully taking down the every second counts sign. They're all hugging around it and like, Olivia Colman's back. This person's back. Richie worked in that restaurant for 5 days, and every single person in that restaurant's like, yeah, of course. You come back here, come into the kitchen, just do whatever you want. It's like, what?
Well, it's meant to be like we're all once you're in, you're part of the family, bruh. You're part of the family.
Yeah, it was so it really bothered
It was,
me.
but
It was just like you're celebrating an episode you did 1 season ago. Like, who knows?
But it was so refreshing in that episode, in the finale, which has 18 chefs talking about chef things, and it's so boring. And finally, Olivia Colman is on screen, and you're like, oh, a professional. Thank God.
Yeah.
Someone who delivers a line with some gravitas, some oomph. You're like, I was like, now I can relax. A real like pro has shown up. Like, why? It was just too much. And yeah, I didn't like the giving birth episode. As someone who's given birth, I was like, this is boring. Like, I don't, it's not like, must they always be screaming at each other? And like, I just couldn't stand.
Yeah, it was very poorly written, and they tried.
I couldn't take it.
At
the end of
and
the
then
day,
of course at the end, they're like, oh, it's a bottle episode with just these 2 people. And then, oh no, guess who shows up? The 2 fat brothers doing
I don't
bits.
even remember them.
Are they being haunted, or who's haunted them? I don't know. Let's make like. They basically came up with like a fucking cutting room floor It's Always Sunny bit, and they're like, let's just stretch it out for a full season of a different show. Awful.
I just my review is for all of them, for everyone writing this show, for all the actors in the show, for chefs in general. At the end of the day, it's a sandwich, love. Just like relax, and chill out.
Listen, people have different interests. I'm sure there's people who are like, oh, this guy is the best investment banker in the world. He's a rock star. This person is the best like coder. He does such cool coding. Like, do we need a show about that? Like,
it was just so literal. Like, because the whole thing was like, yes, of course, there's lots of passion and pleasure to be found in being a restaurateur, a chef, cooking for people you love, cooking as like a way of giving service to people, whatever. Like, yeah, of course, that's great. But it just like to end so literally of being like, now we have to hear about chefs talking about like how they started putting 12 ingredients in a dish and then they only put 3. And like, isn't that so funny? And I'm like, is this supposed to entertain me?
Yeah, it's just like they're not performers. And what they're talking about is not drama. Like, could have been a podcast.
Yeah. Okay. We only have like a couple more minutes to talk about Ren Faire.
Ren Faire, HBO. Go.
I told Brett to watch it. I couldn't believe you hadn't watched it because you've actually been to a Ren Faire.
I love Ren Faire. I know I was told to watch it, and I kind of was just like, I was,
This was I didn't even really want to watch this, lazy. But my husband put it on, and I had to watch all 3 episodes in one night. It's about the biggest Renaissance festival in North America, in Texas, and the man who created it, King George, who like is a very old, decrepit man. He's like 85. He's falling apart. And so he's like, I got to pass the Ren Faire down to someone. So it's the log line is like.
It's about a guy in his 80s who probably shouldn't be doing his job anymore. Something that we in America are not very familiar with.
Exactly. Right. The log line's like Succession, like drama of like who's going to take over the Ren Faire. But much like other things in America, much like Succession, the old man is like, none of you are fit to fill my shoes. I built this thing. Yeah. None of you can compare. You're all little worms. And so it's watching like the vultures scatter in their different ways, trying to take over. It's a multi-million-dollar business. So like,
it's like, it seems like it's also for like months out of the year that it operates, and there's quite a lot of like permanent. I mean, he creates literally a town. He builds a town, and there's all these like permanent structures there. Yeah. The Ren Faire I went to was like in a park that they rent out for like a month or whatever, and they put up some fake structures and then they take them down.
Yeah.
This guy's built this whole physical empire, and there's like 3 or 4 people who are trying to take over this business because the old guy kind of wants to retire, or he also could die at any moment as well. And there's like, one guy who owns like all the kettle corn shops in the Ren Fair, and it's like a solid business, and he's like one of the food and drink vendors that's been working there, so he has a bit of money. He seems pretty professional. He can do it. There's this guy who has kind of worked his way up. Yeah, he was an actor, and then he was the entertainment director, and now he's the GM. There's another woman who is the vendor management director or something like that. There's a few people who are all kind of could see themselves in this role, either buying the festival outright or being promoted into some, new, like managerial role or something like that to be the custodian to take over this festival. And it is so, first of all, the way it's filmed is like one of the most like engaging cinematic things I've ever seen. And it's
incredibly well done.
It's just a documentary, and you're like it's incredible, and the people in it are so interesting and broken and kind of out of their depths and like in their own interesting ways. And the guy George who runs it is like a piece of shit.
You've never seen a villain like this. Major spoilers. Because when I was like, oh, he's just like a gentle, like sad old man. No, he's like one of the worst people who's ever agreed to be. And he doesn't think he's a bad guy. I mean, this person truly has no friends or family because he's so horrible. He's just alone. He's pathetic. He's like a genuine example of being pathetic.
And also nothing is ever right to him. But he's also like 85-year-old man. So like basic stuff of like they were showing him a video of like a commercial for the Ren Fair, and he's like, why does it sound like that coming out of your speakers? Or like, they were talking about like the email marketing, the marketing like email list, and he's like, I need you to print out like the email thing because I don't do email. And like he's also single. He's very much trying to
wish single cast. He's ready to mingle.
Me and King George. On the apps, and he's on the apps.
He's got a very specific type.
Well, I think he's more on the sugar daddy apps.
He's only on the sugar daddy apps. Yeah, he says that outright. And we meet two of the absolute. I mean, these two women. I have to give them. They're gorgeous. I was watching. I was like, these poor women. Like they will earn every cent. Like you really have to. I felt bad for them because I was like, this guy is horrible. To even spend a second in his presence seems like such a chore. But they were so professional. They were like, oh yeah. They were so like nice to him.
Because he literally opens the date. His opener on the date is like, are those real breasts? He's a freak.
It's disgusting.
And
I just felt so bad for them.
Oh God. It's just sometimes documentaries. I mean, documentaries are in a very popular place right now, but you can't take our praise enough from it. This is like one of the most engaging and easy to watch.
It's only 3 episodes,
3 hours of your life. It was really wonderful. Also, Ren Faire stuff. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's got it all.
Lords, ladies,
it all.
mead, horses.
Yeah, improv.
Quite many. Oh my gosh, the improv auditions.
Yeah.
Guy being like, my wife was in comedy sports for 15 years. That's shit. That's good. That's good content.
I mean, it's good shit. It's all good shit. I was like, I wanted more, and yet I don't. It ended perfectly. That's just a big wreck. You know what's hot? Ren Faire. What's not? The Bear. That's because next time we talk, we're gonna have a real hot or not. Well, no, we won't have a hot or not, but we'll have kiss or diss. Who will we kiss? Who will we diss on the new cast?
Marry, fuck,
kill.
Bequeath with my Ren Faire. Briefly, Bike Riders. Good. Loved the first hour. Second hour kind of fell off a little bit. Kinds of Kindness. Good. If you're expecting Poor Things or The Lobster, or The Favorite, your SOL. It's like it's very similar to Wes Anderson's French Dispatch. It's like that it is not a movie. It's a collection. It should have been an email, should have been a podcast, should have been a TV show. Should have been a TV show. I had fun watching it though. Those are the other things I wanted to mention.
I watched Jurassic Park: Lost World and American Pie.
What does he do with that pie?
It was funny. I mean, I was like, you know what? This held
It is
up.
funny. Well, 'cause
Eugene Levy. Wow, what a
classic, yeah.
find, right? We love
Well,
him.
Zoomers and Gen Alpha, they're all sexless. They don't want to have sex, so we can't have teen sex comedies
Supposedly.
anymore.
Supposedly. What about Euphoria? When's that gonna come back?
There's actually like there's a bit of sex in that, but it's
Yeah.
not funny.
Oh. Yeah, when is sex gonna be funny
It's not
again?
a romp. It's not a romp. We want sex romps.
Yeah. We need what's it called? National Lampoon. Not
I don't
National
know if we
Lampoon
need-
is so canceled. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, next time we talk, it's gonna be Big Brother season. We cannot wait. We're so excited. Thank you for listening. Thanks for your questions and comments on Twitter. Hey, Julie BB, our Discord. You can join it. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Well, might see you in like 2 days when we have to do another
Yeah.
podcast. So, all right. We love you, Julies. All right. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.